So last week I received an email inviting me to a gaming event here in New York City for some sort of social space that's apparently opening up. I have no clue what this is going to look like, what it'll be, but I'm going to bring you along and show you what it looks like and show you a little taste of what New York City gaming has to offer, and also find out, do any of these people know about League of Legends? Because most times whenever events like this and socials like this happen, it's for console games and not really a League of Legends type environment. However, there's something going on here in New York City this morning. All morning you could hear sirens starting at like 8 o'clock, and I had no clue what was going on, but apparently in the building like 2 blocks down, one of the cranes that they were using for construction fell. So kind of see people gathering up there. It looks like all of 10th Avenue is blocked off. Okay, everybody's looking up. Oh yeah, you can see it up there. Wow. Hope everybody's okay. That was a pretty wild situation. Not the first time I've ever seen something like that. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, there was a helicopter that crashed on top of a French bank. Well, I actually worked across the street when that happened. I got calls from my mom, my dad, and a bunch of friends saying like, hey, are you okay? And it's like, yeah, we're fine, but it was odd. And same thing for here. It's like you could hear the sirens all morning, wondering what it was, but then I opened my phone and Twitter immediately just like shows what's going on. Regardless, hope everybody's okay. I hope whenever that crane fell that nothing really bad happened, but anyways, gotta get to work and then on to the gaming event later tonight. I'm in love with my dog unit. Kidz Bop is something else, man.
8 hours later.
Long day of work in the books, about to go to the event, but I do want to touch quickly and kind of get this out of my system and talk about it in that the LCS All-Pro ballot came out. I voted for Doublelift. I will have already explained this in multiple other different videos, including the podcast, TikTok, elsewhere. Like, I'm not going to go into it here again. I'm just trying to do this to clear my mind and not think about All-Pro as I go into this event, because the backlash has been pretty heavy, all things considered, and that's fine. I have a differentiating opinion from other people. I believe in my logic and believe in my thought process that got me up to there, and that just is what it is. You have to a certain extent, agree to disagree. If you don't like my logic, it is what it is. But I'm consistent with it. I provide a rationale, and that's all you can do, pretty much. It is what it is. So events like those are always interesting because it's a new concept for something that's not even here yet in New York City. And I know I'm just there to like put word out about it and promote it, and in exchange I get free drinks and a night out basically. But I had to ask the question to some of those that were investors and like higher ups of like, what crowd are you going for? Because as somebody who does have experience trying to get people out to like Brooklyn and OSNYC and these other gaming spots that are similar to this to a certain extent, like what target crowd are you going for? Because gamers, if we're being entirely honest, in the US are fairly introverted, and they're not willing to spend $15 on a cocktail unless you're providing some sort of service to them. Like, they're not just gonna walk into a place like this and spend. The answers I got were probably gonna be as good as you can get, which is we're going for the 30 and older crowd that wants to come in and just socialize and hang out the same way that those that don't know Swingers, which is like a mini golf place here in New York City, but also has just like a bunch of bars and it's a fun way to socialize. Basically, they want to go for that type of environment, a top golf style instead of regular golf. It's not meant for gamers specifically, it's more meant for people who have played a game at any point in their life and would be willing to come in, hang out with friends, grab a drink, maybe play some WWE or Mario Kart, whatever game they're gonna play. And that I think is honestly the smartest approach you can have. I think that's gonna be your best chance at making something like this profitable. But even then, there is the question of like, why would somebody who's in their 30s pick this versus something else? He brought up the valid point of, oh, Well, the only thing that there is to do right now in New York City really is drink, go out, clubbing, and like you want to add something to that in any way, shape, or form if you can, whether it's games or something else. And this is like that one small thing that can make a difference. And I do agree with that thought process. The problem is just getting people in the door. Now, the location that you saw earlier, again, it's just a test. It's not the actual thing. It's just one small pod kind of testing out a concept that they're going to try and promote in like a much bigger space. Will it work? I don't know. I'm also not necessarily that crowd. Like if I'm going to go gamer, I'm going to go to OS or Brookland and like go full gaming like environment, or I'm just going to go completely anti-gamer and really not blend the two worlds. But I'm also a very all or nothing person, so I understand like I'm different than, again, the normal target demographic for this. It was also interesting to note the crowd of people that was there. You would think, you know, gaming spot, they're clearly doing press for it. There might be some gamers there. Now, I think it was the only gamer, like legitimately the only one that I talked to out of like 15, 20 people that knew anything like about modern gaming beyond like Zelda and Tomb Raider were like the two most commonly talked about games besides like Sims, I think. But it's all like journalists there to like cover, you know, what the space potentially could be. And then real estate investors of them like trying to get money and raise capital for this, for the idea and the concept. And then obviously financial advisors and everybody else there. So it's very much like my background at Disney is more influential at events like this than my background in gaming, despite my background in gaming being the thing that got me invited to the event in the first place. I'm now on 10th Avenue. That crane that you saw at the beginning of the day is this building right up here. You can see it's not on top of whatever thing is up there. And it still looks like 10th Avenue is shut down by the building itself, but everything else is kind of calmed down in the area for the most part. Still like one of the best spots of just like a good view in New York City. You got Times Square and everything else over there. Shorter video, all things considered, just wanted to show off this event. It was nice of them to invite me out, so I feel like making content around that is probably the best thing to do. Hope I kind of gave you a glimpse into what some of the New York City social scene around gaming is. I don't know when something like this would ever come full time, but nevertheless, going out to these events and talking to a bunch of people is fun. Even if I can't like record the conversations or like any like interviews, stuff like that I have with anybody, like it's still fun to go to. And I can talk about it afterwards and recap everything for you all. So Empire State Building, that's it for me. Hope you all have a great night. I gotta cut down an avenue. Have a good one. Adios.